Good morning. When Martha Gellhorn wrote to me, she's the woman who Ernest Hemingway dedicated For Whom the Bell Tolls to. If you ever wonder who she is, you can open For Whom the Bell Tolls to, note the dedication, and look her up in the web. When she wrote to me, she said, America is a huge island populated by self-absorbed dummies. Nothing will come from all that ignorance. There's a film that came out after World War II called The Arch of Triumph, set in Paris, in which there's a scene in a cafe of traumatized looking Europeans set in the war. And the narrator says, nobody cares if these people will live or die. They're white, middle class Europeans. My mother, at 2 o'clock in the morning, after finishing grading papers for the CCAC students, would sit in her bed crying, and I would come in and hold her and say, what's wrong, Ma? And she said, nobody cares about me. The answer to this problem isn't John Fetterman and Lance Parker's answer, which is being embraced by the Israelis who say, we care about you, we'll do your dirty work for you. The idea of terrorizing me with HIV, making it out to be Yoko Ono's Justice Department, originated with Gail Burston, Greg Carl, and an attorney for the Broadway musical Hair named Amanda Harcourt. Hair exemplified what Martha was saying. They were frivolous, self-absorbed, and they were making a mockery of the left to pave the way for what Yoko Ono has pulled and to build momentum for the destruction of Gaza. First, they came for the devil worshippers, then they came for the terrorists. If you wonder, Hair was about what role the Vietnam War plays in this. Hair was about resistance to the Vietnam War. It's about resistance to the draft. It was about glorified the Doors and so on. Counterculture. The Vietnam War got its program and music from the weirdest movie ever made. It's called The Green Berets, starring John Wayne and George Takei, which opens with a Marine singing in German. You could either be frivolous and abstracted and self-absorbed, or you could join the neo-Nazis marching on Indochina, where the French were being backed up, who had been allies of the Japanese during World War II. It's very perverse. There's a picture of John Wayne with Lee Harvey Oswald in a naval missile. Back in Dallas, Lee Harvey Oswald was going to the Carousel Club. Carousel Club was the cabaret sorts that gave rise to the Broadway musical Hair. Phenomenon of celebration of the sensualities like the Beatles were. Jack Ruby had the same psychiatrist as Charlie Manson. Charlie Manson sort of darkened the counterculture, but that was meant to be. The program of getting revenge for the Second World War emerged in this slippery mechanism. They drove JFK into Dallas, killed him, distributed the spoils among themselves. Failure to face that is still going on. But the derision was implicit in Martha Gellhorn's struggle with whether or not my urgency and alarm was founded in something true. By keeping that ambiguous, it's only an uncertainty, says their minstrel. They allowed the attackers to get away with the whole thing. As Fetterman, Lance Barker claim on the sensibilities of the counterculture, in the end, we're siding with the people who do our dirty work for us, is the message of the Seattle left. Amanda Harcourt, the attorney for the Broadway musical Hair, was an ally of Leon Botstein and Jay Epstein. This arrangement is an orchestration by Beatles Paul McCartney. By terrorizing me with HIV, he consolidated a casino crowd around the money bag from Elon Musk. And so the people who perpetrated the whole thing walked away laughing. They were given cover as a response team. The claim by the perpetrators to having found a script that they wrote in which loyalty to John Lennon was the will of the sage. Made absolutely certain that forensic assertive gaslighting professionals who were behind the attack remained in charge of the investigation all along. And true to cultural idiom, Peter Gabriel spoke to me in French.